that I've gotten up and like gone to work, I have wanted to like listen to morning tea on my way to work. So I'm just like, what's going on? You know? What's happening? What is CLC and everybody else in Prague got to say about what's going on? You know? I want the tea. I need morning tea.
Good morning, lovely humans. Good morning, Keisha. Keisha's the only one here. Just kidding. There's other people here. Just no one's commented. We're here to discuss the last 2 days. Not a ton's going on. That's the beauty and the curse of a final 6 round, is that they're usually pretty cut and dry. 2 people dictate the vote. So, there's hasn't been a ton going on. So we got 2 days to cover. We got to cover quite literally everything so far about these top 6 rounds where we left off. Nikki had the legacy key and got to split the houses after Preston's departure, and kind of pissed some people off with her decisions. So, but we'll get there. Joining me is a slew of production members. Slew probably isn't the right word because there's only 2 of them. It's Dr. David Lee Farrow after a long hiatus from tea.
Just hi.
It's been like 4 days since you've been on, maybe 5.
Yeah.
It's like the longest time you've like been off.
Yeah, the past few days have been really, really busy for me. But I'm back and ready for the madness of live night tomorrow, the fallout of once again Nikki causing chaos in a BBH season. Ready to talk all the things.
I love it. And joining us from the car, he, I believe, is driving to get, I think he told me drugs. It's Kadri.
My wife's uterus is bleeding, and she asked me to
Oh my
go get
God.
her Chick-fil-A. She's on her period.
Oh my God. Well, when you said that, I'm like, oh my God.
Carl doesn't understand women, Kadri.
See,
I should have known. The last
most
time
people
he was in...
call it, a period, but you're over here like making me think she's like internally fucking bleeding, which I guess she is. Like, but like not in the way that like is like.
And the last time you were in a woman was with your mom, so like I get it.
Exactly, and you are correct. You are correct, and honestly, I'm better for it, and the rest of you are not better for it.
Oh no!
Screaming.
I would never. It's fine. I love women so much, so I don't want to be around them. And honestly, that's the biggest gift I can give to them.
And honestly, that's not a bad gift, because sometimes
exactly.
I question my own like sexuality kind of thing, and I'm just like, women.
But that's the thing. That's how I feel about men. It's like, ugh, why do I have to like men? Ugh, they're terrible human creatures.
And yes, and sometimes I'm like, maybe I am asexual.
Honestly, I wish I was sometimes. I'm like, men are the worst. Men are the worst. Y'all are unhinged. Oh, we are. But good morning to Ashley, Sarah D, and Keisha. All right, let's get into it. So where we left off, Nikki split our houses into House A and House B. House A is comprised of Liv, Jabbar, Lamont, Louise, Caro, and Trey. And in House B, we have Sarah, Christian, Michael, Megs, Erica, and Megan. So we're going to pick a house, talk solely about that house, and then we'll move on to the other house. Personally, I want to talk about House B. I think House B is far less interesting than House A. So I'd like to start with House B. So we'll start with House B. Got 2 days to cover. Sarah absolutely fucking mollywopped these hoes in this challenge. Mollywopped every fucking single person in this cast at that challenge. It was embarrassing.
Not in this cast. Not in this cast.
It was embarrassing to watch. Again, she's an orger. She hasn't orged in 4 years. It's embarrassing watching these org vets get absolutely trampled by someone who hasn't played orgs in 4 years. It wasn't close. Like, no one even came close to her. And I stand. I changed my flair. It's true. Like, I mean, come on. And I think we've talked a lot about Sarah in terms of her longevity and winnability. I think she's had some of the craziest fucking luck I've seen in orgs recently. Like when you have over half the cast targeting you and you consistently get HOHs that will not target you, you're winning vetoes so they can't touch you. And when everyone's dying to take out Sarah and Megs and Erica at this point, Nikki then throws them into a house where they're super insulated, and then Sarah wins the HOH. Like, this cast is going to be so pissed to see her tonight when they merge all together at 11. And that just tickles me in and of itself because these people are so pressed by Sarah. And I just live for the fact that she refuses to just like die. I just live. And I mean, a well-deserved HOH. Michael also did very well. I think he had the second best score of everyone. So it's unfortunate that he ends up, you know, in a house where he's with the only other person who would have beaten him because he had the second best score. So a bit unfortunate, but I think Michael will be okay in this house. Sarah is nominating Christian and Michael just due to the lack of relationships that she has with both of them. Kadri's gone. I mean, her and Michael just really don't have much of a bond or a connection. No. I mean, they're just not very similar. Like Michael and Sarah are very two different people. They just don't really have much of a bond. And then Sarah and Christian, for whatever reason, Christian just does not communicate with Sarah very well. He very much responds to almost everyone but Sarah. And Sarah has not forgotten the fact that when Christian was HOH, he did not inform her as to what he was doing. He didn't inform many people as to what he was doing. But Sarah thinks that it was a personal decision not to tell her what he was doing with his nomination of Liv during that final 15 rounds. So she hasn't forgotten that. So her nominations are set. Likely looking at a Megan renom here, just because she's going to keep the triple threat femme safe in Erica and Megs. So Megan knows that, this is not an ideal position to be in. This is not a house that I necessarily thought she would be thriving in, considering, she has a strained relationship with Erica that she's trying to rebuild. Megan was part of the foursome alliance that targeted the almost foursome alliances just the round prior. Megan doesn't necessarily have the best working relationship with Christian. Michael literally nominated Megan and wanted her to go home literally in round one. So this is not necessarily a house where I was like, this is great for Megan. But damn, she's making it work. She is making it.
And she didn't really have to do much to make it work. It seemed like people were not even wanting to be like, let's see what Megan has to give us, because it's no secret that Megan and Megs were part of the group that were causing some scheminess on Train of Thought. Mm-hmm. So I thought that would maybe work against Megan, even though I knew that like Sarah and Erica were really good with Megs. Yeah. But I think what has helped is that Lamont's lie has made himself look so bad in comparison to everyone else that a lot of the heat that group was originally receiving has almost all gone to Lamont.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it boils down to the fact of who lied. And it's unfortunate that he's getting all the heat for lying when everyone knows this foursome existed and they all knew he lied because they had the highest score that they could given the directions that were available in the game.
Yeah.
They knew they're just as culpable. Like they knew he lied to y'all and they didn't tell you. Like it's unfortunate that Lamont's getting a bunch of the heat for this when they all should be getting equal amounts of heat. Like they all knew. If you're blaming Lamont for lying to you, you should be mad at Megan and Megs and who's the other one? And Jabbar for lying to you as well because they knew.
But did anyone outside of Lamont own up to it? this is me asking a question. I don't know.
I don't think anyone necessarily owned up to the fact that they knew that Lamont lied. I think they've all owned up to the fact that the alliance existed, but like read between the lines, people. Like
Mhm.
read between the lines. That you knew Lamont's accurate direction. You never felt the need to go and confirm directions with the other side of the house.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. It's pretty obvious to me that what happened there. Even trying to put myself into the game. Obviously, we know everything, but like, come on now. You know the alliance existed. You knew Lamont's true direction. You never made an effort to tell the other side Lamont's true direction. So you clearly had malintention there to make sure they didn't win. So let's just call a spade a spade. But yeah, definitely not a house I thought Megan would have been strong in. I definitely was worried for her on.
But and to Megan's credit, like I think what allowed her to kind of thrive in this desert place, if you will, is the fact that she did not complain. She did not get overwhelmed by being put in a shitty house. And we've seen time and time again where people get not a great deck of cards. They don't get dealt a good hand. Look, I'm trying to speak in white right now, and it's not working. And they freak out a little bit, and they make it a whole lot worse. And like Megan could have, should have,
Mhm.
if she wanted to, and she didn't. And I think that's the maturity, her maturing as a player coming out in her, and just like, let me just roll with the punches, let me just go with the flow and see what's going to happen. And it worked out to her benefit. So like, props to Megan for recognizing not to be overwhelmed by this house split.
I have to say, like, Preston caused a lot of chaos, but I think that's one really good thing he did was for Megan's game before he left, having that talk with her about. Now we were a little like worried about what is he going to try and like scare her into doing something that's bad for her game, but I think he pushed her to have these conversations before it looked like she was only doing so because she had to. And so he pushes her to have these really important conversations with people like Sarah and Erica and people who she really wasn't giving, not like she's had good relationship with everyone, but like having game talks with people. And so then the house split happens and she's already had these conversations on his like pleading of her, like he's saying like, I want you to win and this is what I see as a gap in your game. And she goes and she does those things, and then the house split happens. She ends up away with all the people that she's been at least in action working with. So here's the thing. I and I'm going to say this, and I know this is pushing too ahead. He didn't tell. I don't think he told Louise. I don't know how much. I don't think he actually told Louise anything. Like I think that we can talk more about that, but I think Louise is also causing a little bit of like, let me sow some seeds.
I mean, Preston did tell Louise, like, basically he tried to put in a good word for Megan. He tried to be like, hey, Megan's with these people. We all know she's with these people. Megan, I think, realizes she's not, in the best position with these four. And I think she's looking to branch out. So, like, I know that you and Megan don't have the best relationship. So please, like, try and, give her a chance. I think that's like the extent to which he said, but he did. I mean, he did expose Megan's game in the sense of like where she stands, but like it's not difficult to see where Megan stands in the game. Like train of thought exposed where Megan stood. It wasn't too much, but like Preston definitely on his way out tried to get the people he liked and wanted to succeed to kind of come together in his final moments. Is like his parting gift to the season is like, hopefully my friends can come together and work together, because that's what he wants to see. So it's not working. I don't think Louise and Megan will ever work together at this point. I think it's too far down. We're too far down the river at this point to circle back and fix anything. But he tried. Oh, he tried. But I've just been really impressed with Megan. And I'm so happy that I mean, barring anything crazy today, she will be making a jury for the first time, or at least she will be in the jury phase for the first time in her org career. She might not be on the jury, but she's at least made it to the jury phase. So I'm really happy for her because she's earned it. I mean, she earned it in 17 and got stripped of it. She earned it in Endure, got stripped of it. She's earned it here, and I'm happy she's finally at least getting it. So very happy for her, and she's doing the damn thing in a house that theoretically should not have worked for her. So
the thing that's so interesting is she has good relationships with everyone without making it look like she's working with everyone. And I think that's a really hard balance, that you can have really good one-on-ones, but then you're also very like upfront and clear about the game that you're playing. Like in the Rizzo vote, she's very upfront and saying, this is how I'm voting. I am not moving. I'm so sorry. Even in like the Preston vote, like she's very upfront with Preston and says like, I would have saved you against anyone else. And she tells everyone else that I would have saved Preston against anyone else, but she's very clear about her direction and what she's doing. Yeah. And it's still keeping her good with everyone because she's being so honest, but it doesn't look like she's working with everyone.
No, I mean, she's just approachable as well. I think that also really helps. Like, no one is like Lamont is seen as someone that if you're going to go against him, you don't want to be 100% honest with him. He's someone who is deemed a little bit of a scarier player who, if you kind of scorn him, you're afraid of the repercussions that come from it. I mean, most people have been on calls with Lamont when Lamont's not been very happy with them, and they're like, "Oop, don't want to do that again. So let me not piss Lamont off again." Megan, on the other hand, everyone's super approachable with her. People who voted against her or wanted her out in round one, Michael, Liv, people who didn't vote the way she wanted in the Rizzo vote still felt comfortable approaching her.
Megan is very much a safe place for all people on this cast,
regardless. Yeah. And that's something really great to have in a cast of very scary players. Like Louise, while she's lovable and she'll laugh on calls with you, people know she's scary. People knows that like you need to be careful around Louise. People are now finally starting to see Chaos Nikki kind of come into the game. This cast is full of some scary ass players, and Megan, I mean, her job is also very helpful. It's just a comforting place to be, just to vent your thoughts and feelings, regardless of where you stand in the game with her. She's just a fun place to be around. So, she is, while she's had some hiccups here and there, I think she's had enough strength with people where it's paying dividends, especially now that everything's kind of crumbling left and right around us. So, it might actually, okay. So, but let's get to the people who this is not a good position for in House B, and that's Christian and Michael. Christian is in a do-or-die situation. He absolutely has to win this veto to stay alive, given the voters of Megs, Erica, and Megan. Two of them are eating Christian, Megan, and Erica, and Megs prefers Michael to go. Christian needs to win to stay alive. If Michael was to win the veto, then maybe, just maybe, there's a shot there. If we see a Megan nom, maybe, just maybe, there is an opportunity there. If Meg sees some type of reason to keep Christian for Megan, I don't see a world in that happening. But like, there's a chance. There's an opportunity there. But Christian definitely needs to take the power into his own hands here. But ultimately, it doesn't go his way. He comes up short. I mean, there's just no other way of saying it. Like, he did fine in the challenge. He wasn't bad. I think he was 7th overall of everyone who competed. So 7th out of 12, fine, okay, but definitely needed a stronger performance, especially given how he handled his nomination. What I love about Christian is he's blunt. I love a player who's not going to sit around for the niceties. Like, it's always, and I get why people do it when you're being nominated and people are like, I get it, I totally get it. No, fuck that shit. No, you're not happy about it. No one wants to be nominated. So like, I get why people want to be nice and pretend like the bridge is still there. I get it. It's all the fucking platitudes you got to do and all that crap. But I love a player who's just going to say it how it is. Christian was not happy with Sarah when
Yeah.
Sarah you're going up on the block, and he got real sassy pants back with Sarah.
But if Christian had said the same any other person, and here's why I will kind of push back against this, because I do appreciate Christian's candor in this game.
Yeah.
You're pushing against the person who you also didn't give a chance to in this game either. So, and again, like, I think the difference between the way a player like Megan is playing and a way Christian's playing is he doesn't really bother talking to Sarah until he has to.
Yeah.
And so while he can be upset, like, you would have nominated her.
Yeah, Christian is playing this game on an island, and it's just in this game you can't be on an island, because if people don't know where you stand, then they cannot like justify sticking their neck out for you. And he just refused to give anything, even when Sarah was talking to him. Like, she called him, didn't tell him that he was going to go up the first call, and she asked him, like, how do you view the landscape of the game? Like, how are you seeing things? And that was his opportunity to maybe like give something that would like give her something to work with. And he's basically just like, I'm not in anything. I just do what's best for me every round, and he just like is nothing of substance. And so like, what's Sarah supposed to do? Like, it's just, yeah.
It's unfortunate because Sarah is one of the few players. Let's be frank here. She's one of the few players who actually values honesty and exhibits it. There's a lot of people in this game that value honesty. They don't exhibit it themselves. She's one of the only players in this game who actually, I would say maybe Sarah, Megan, and Megs are probably the only three who actually value honesty and will give it back to you and will be pretty honest with everyone else. Like, it's unfortunate that Sarah's HOH here and he continues to be not unhonest or dishonest.
No, I think it's very honest, but
he's just not forthcoming of anything
because he refuses to engage with these people and like actually start something. Like, he actively kind of got his own number one, Rizzo, out of the game. He's sitting next to his closest other ally who doesn't even reciprocate that a ton. And so it's just like Christian is like, he's like dug himself into a hole and he just refuses to dig out. I don't know.
He and what's even, I mean, what's the hardest thing is he didn't, and not like Sarah has a vote, and Sarah came into this HOH not having a preference of who left. Obviously she now has a preference after this call with Christian, where she would prefer him to leave. So not great to have the HOH also not on your side, on top of not already having, you don't have the votes anyway. But if you had maybe the HOH on your side fighting for you, maybe someone would flip. She tells Christian, I'm putting you up because, one, I have a better relationship with everyone else in the game. So comparatively, there's that. But two, I've always felt like I've known where they stand, either in the vote or in their nominations, because Erica and Megs have both been HOH before. And then with Megan has always been upfront and honest on where she's voting. She's like, I've always known where they've been at. I've never had to question where they stand in terms of the vote, nominations with me. But I question where I am with you, because during your HOH, you told me you were nominating Rizzo. And then you nominate Liv, and I heard nothing about this. After Christian's first call with her was like, I make my decisions in the moment. I'm pretty upfront with people. And Sarah's like, you're not upfront with me. You lied to me. You told me you were putting up Rizzo, and then you didn't. You put up Liv. You never mentioned Liv's name to me. So, like, it's hard for her to believe that if he is to stay in the game, that she has any type of trust with him, or has any kind of idea what he's going to do, or if he's going to keep her safe when he's making decisions in the moment, says he's with no one, everyone's on the table. Those aren't comforting things to hear. So, I mean, she lets him know, and had Christian just said, you know what, you're right. I lied to you. during that reign. You're right. I lied to the entire house. Let's be honest. And had he tried to pave a relationship there, Sarah goes on to win the veto. Maybe, just maybe, there would be something there because Sarah and Megan don't have the best relationship. Like, it's fine. Megan's done a great job of rebuilding it lately, but it was still an opportunity there for Christian to have surpassed Megan to the point where Sarah might have felt the need to take him off and put Megan up there and get rid of Michael.
I actually think there's nothing Christian could have done.
I mean, I don't think there was.
I think
it didn't help his case.
Just like with what you were saying, though, how he lied to the whole house. Like, Sarah is not in a good position. So the last thing she wants to do is attach herself to the person who was known as lying to the whole house. I think Christian, unfortunately, what we're seeing here, and I know how important it was for him to make the jury this time. I think what we're seeing, though, is he created a lie that was unnecessary. Like, it just was odd. It was odd. It takes very little effort to just say, I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Yeah.
Instead, dangles his ally and Rizzo out there, makes it very easy then on the flip end for people to evict Rizzo, mentally preparing to evict him anyway. So he loses a great ally in Rizzo by doing that lie. And now he's going to lose himself from the game because of that lie once again. Again, I don't think there's anything he could have done.
I mean, I agree. I mean, it goes back to the
he could have won HOH. Like that's what.
That's where he's at. Yeah.
I mean, it just goes back to that HOH was so bad at 15.
It was so bad, and I mean, we called this. We said Preston and Christian probably both going to go out pre-jury because of this bad gameplay. And
they will. And they will go out back to back to each other because
and this is why I will continue to preach that this is not an all-star season.
It's just the unwillingness of two people who are at the bottom of the game to be willing to see eye to eye even for a round, to be like, hey, let's both escape this round with something mutual beneficial. Instead, they created a mess that has now led to them leaving back-to-back in the pre-jury. It's unfortunate, but for different reasons. Preston had a reputation coming into the HOH, didn't help by how he handled it and how he basically dangled Liv in front of the entire house and still got Liv to stay, which gave people a false perception of the power he had in the game, leading to his exit. And then Christian just has not made anyone feel good about their standing with him. And this is exactly why Sarah nominates him. This is exactly why Megan and Erica want to get rid of him. Because they don't feel good with him. They don't feel like if he was to make it to live night, they would feel safe with him.
And the thing is he would keep them safe.
Yeah.
He would keep Megan and Erica safe.
He just hasn't told them that.
But the thing is even when he was working with Rizzo or, his relationship with Michael, he didn't even give them good information in the game. And like seeing the message he's sending back and forth to Michael today about like, it was so great to play the game with you and I valued our friendship. And it's like, I honestly, other than the fact that you were on the calls with Michael the most, if I were just reading your messages, I wouldn't know that you were great allies because you don't give people much, even the people you're working with. And I don't understand, like, it's so funny because we talk about in one regard how Christian is candid and then the other he's so guarded. And I don't understand why he can't bring that same candor to his positive relationships in the game. But ultimately, I think it's just what's costing him here.
Yeah.
Does Megs just have a better one-on-one relationship with Christian than Michael? Is that what it is?
Well, they started in the same team together, and he like immediately kept her safe for no reason. So
sure, yeah.
They're both pretty low. Michael's dead last in her trust rankings, but Christian's not much higher. Like it's not like she's not infatuated with Christian.
Right.
I mean, he's a couple spots higher, but yeah, it just boils down to she's got slightly a better relationship with Christian than she
honestly,
does.
in her opinion, I don't know the word that I'm looking for here. Christian is the better choice, and that's valid.
I don't disagree with that for Megs. I actually would argue that I think that Christian is better for Erica and Megan's game. He's just not very good job. He's not very good at pitching that.
Christian is better for a lot of people's game. Christian has shot himself in the foot and has made him a hindrance to a lot of people's game.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like
he had great relationship. Like I love watching him and Erica on call. And I love watching her on Michael on call too. But I think that Christian could have brought a lot more to Erica's game, but unfortunately he's just not good at selling his game.
I mean that's just point blank period. Like we came in, I came in a little concerned for Christian and Erica and their relationship, given just their history in our community in terms of them not seeing eye to eye on certain things, in terms of the gameplay in certain seasons and them having different opinions. So I was a little concerned for that, being like, all right, are they going to butt heads? Are they going to see eye to eye? And they had some really great calls. But yeah, I mean, good calls only mean so much when you don't like socially great, awesome, but like strategically, are you going to keep me safe? And that's the thing is he would never open up the book. He's like, read the back of my book, and hopefully that's enough for you to keep me. Like, no, they want to see all the pages and see that you're actually targeting Caro and Liv. That's who you target at Live Night. But instead, they're like, we think we're safe with you, but then you also lied to us and said it was Rizzo. Then you nominated Liv. So like, how are we to trust anything you say at this point? And that's the bad thing about lying in this game. Once you lie, you're always a liar. And how is anyone supposed to ever trust you?
And the thing is about like Christian actually didn't have the worst hand dealt to him in this house, because he had good relationships with the people who are voting. And not only that, but if you pitch yourself in a good way, those are people that will fight for what they want. We have seen this already happen. They will fight for what they want and who they want to stay. Megs can say, I'm going to vote for Christian to stay, but like, I don't think she has much to convince other people to do it with her.
Yeah. No, agreed. And
but if Megan or Erica, if they could see that like glimmer of reason, they would be fighting for him to stay too.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and I think that just speaks to it just speaks to more about Christian's game, the fact that everyone has been like the BBH16 of it all has been such a huge storyline for this entire pre-jury about the fact that there's 4 of them, 3 of them are in an alliance together, they keep each other safe, they vote together, blah, blah, blah. And this is not being seen as an opportunity to weaken the 16 group, considering the other 3 of them are in the other house. This could have been an easy opportunity to yeet at least one 16er out of the game. But I think that speaks to the fact that people are more worried about Christian and his uncertainty than they are worried about breaking up this foursome that doesn't truly exist, but like perception it does. I think that just speaks to the fact that he just hasn't solidified enough in this game, and it's unfortunate for him because I know how bad he wants it, and like that never feels good. I think both people leaving today both really fucking wanted to be here, really wanted a second chance, and it's unfortunate they will be leaving right before you get to that milestone of jury. It's unfortunate, but I mean, I think both, we'll get to Lamont, both have done it to themselves in some shape, way, or form, so it is what it is. But today we will have the vote. It is very likely it is a 2-1, maybe even a 3-0. Megs was just on call with Christian, letting him know, like, I want to save you. But Megs knows that she's kind of being looked at sideways for having a lot of power in this game, so she doesn't want to wield it too much today. So she's not going to campaign for him to stay. And that kind of read to me as well. If she realizes the votes aren't there, she might not even vote to save him. So it might be 3-0, might be 2-1. Erica and Megan were talking last night saying that they'll hear Christian out, but they're pretty much, their minds are made up. So we'll see if there's anything he can do to sway them. I think not, but I mean, it also doesn't help that Megan, finally someone helping Michael out for fucking once in their lives. Megan hopped on call with Michael last night being like, hey, here's what Erica values in this game. So when you go pitch to her, this needs to be like your thesis statement. And here, and you need to give exhibits to why you are supporting the mentality that the side-by-side crap needs to dissolve. All Erica wants in this game is to dissolve the side v side. So you go tell her that you're not going to play the side v side game, and that's what she wants to hear. Megan's like, also go get Sarah on your side because Erica and Sarah working together. Sarah values honesty, so go tell Sarah how honest you are with her, and how much you love honesty, and how much you're going to be honest with her moving forward. Like, thank God someone is like telling Michael, here's what you need to say and do to lock up the votes and stay. Like, Jesus, how hard is it, people? Like,
I love that it's coming from Megan.
Yeah.
it is surprising that it's coming from Megan with this cast. Like,
true. Of all the people, it's one of the least
all the people
veteran players.
Like, and I'm selfishly, I'm annoyed. But like, I love that it's coming from Megan. Like I said, she is a safe place for a lot of people on this cast. So it coming from her feels good. It doesn't feel like it's like overt criticism in a way, kind of thing. It feels like genuine coaching. And I think that's what Michael needs.
Yeah,
Great.
I think they connect with each other because they're both parents. They understand that life. I think that's just like a bond that like I probably will never understand because I don't know if I'm gonna have children. But I really do think that like they've put the first round behind them, and Megan sees Michael as just somebody who, unlike Christian, does have relationships elsewhere. And so he can be that bridge between the former sides, I guess. And they talked about like creating their own new side with people that they both feel comfortable with. And so I think that's a great transition point as we're getting into jury, is to create a new side, because the big fear with the side splitting at the Liv Rizzo vote was that you're going to be stuck on a side that you didn't want. And then it's just going to be this for the rest of the game. So like now the houses have definitely loosened the gears a little bit and people can reshuffle. And so this is Megan taking an opportunity, and it's really great.
Yeah, and I think it also helps that former pre-juror to former pre-juror. I think that also helps. I mean, there was an unspoken idea that all four of the pre-jurors should stick together. They obviously did not support Victoria in that. But I'm happy that Megan saw an opportunity here with Michael, wanted to help them both make it to the jury for the first time for both of them in their careers, but also additionally, props to Michael and Megan for moving past round one, because it could have been very easy for both of them to kind of stick in this rut of, well, I nominated Megan, she's going to be mad at me, I just won't work with her. And for Megan to be like, he nominated me, fuck him, I don't want to work with him. I'm so happy that they saw this as a new opportunity to move forward in a new group of six, in a new house of six, to not just, focus on the past and instead to look towards the future. So very happy for both of them. It's unfortunate here that we will likely lose Christian. But I think Megan's doing an incredible job, and I'm hoping Michael will see a path for himself that hopefully doesn't include 16, because I really think he needs to break away from at least part of 16. I think there are some bright spots within 16 for him, but sticking with them as a whole is just not necessary. Additionally, because we will be losing a 17er today, so they will be the only season still fully intact at 4 players. So I think that also in and of itself, being 4 of 11 is not great either. And Liv, Carol, and Louise will happily drop Michael if it means dropping the 16 target from themselves. So I'm hoping he can branch out, but we'll see. I mean, people have to extend the branch for him to branch out. So that's half the battle.
I have to say, not to change the subject, it's like just a very brief deviation, but we forgot to say this because Nikki was, we had stopped streaming at this point, but Nikki said to me when we were talking a little bit after, and I was asking her reactions, and she said, I really wish Preston was still in the game so I could just make House Braun reduke it out again. And I thought that would have been so funny if you just made it the exact same house, because if Preston was still here, it would have been all 6 of them still in the game.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been hilarious to just make them do it again.
And I think that wouldn't have put blood on her hands either.
Drama.
No, and it just would have been hilarious.
That would have been
but I forgot to report that when we were on that call, and I was thinking of it now when you were talking about like Michael and Megan talking about round one.
Could you imagine like if Michael won HOH again, like, and it just was the exact same?
Well, I mean, depending on how Preston would have done, I mean, he would have beat everyone else in that house. It just would have come down to, could Preston have beaten Michael, which, good God almighty, if Michael again is HOH and
I would have screamed.
In a Braun redo, God almighty, God help us. God fucking help us. That would have been iconic, but that's it for House B. So barring anything crazy today, Sarah, Megs, Erica, Megan, and Michael will be moving on to the jury phase, joining Nikki from House B. So let's go on to House A. House A is a clusterfuck. They're angry. I mean, I know Stokes said today that he in his opinion, he thinks Jabbar's, overly upset at how Nikki put the houses. I get why they're angry. I get it.
Mhm.
Like, Megs has become a huge target. People have been trying to eat Sarah and Erica on the block for eons at this fucking point. Christian and Michael have very little connection in the game, and they're all in House B. Like, I get it. Like, the 5 biggest targets, either from just like no blood, like no one's gonna care, or it's time, are all in House B.
Yeah. The other reason why I get why Jabbar's upset is, like, skipping ahead a little bit, Jabbar is one of the people that really values having Lamont here. Yeah. And I think knowing the way that he was knowing that was going to be set up from the jump, I think he is mad about that. And also, I mean, he had heard for eons and eons from Lamont about how Lamont valued Nikki, and like, how are you looking at splitting the house that way and thinking Lamont is in danger? And Nikki values Lamont. Like, Lamont and Nikki have had a really good relationship.
He saved her twice.
Yes.
The only reason again, we don't know how Nikki would have fared against Preston in the duel. The reason Nikki is theoretically still in the game is because of Lamont in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's wild that she threw Lamont to the wall. I mean, basically, whoever won HOH would doom. It either would have been Louise or Lamont leaving from this house, depending on if Black Coffee or if BBH20, if they won the HOH. So, like, to put it at like this, like 50% chance of losing Lamont, who
the other 50% chance is losing Louise. Like, Nikki.
Yeah, but she even said it on the call when she was picking the house. She goes, all the people I like are in House A. Then change it. The fuck? Like, bro, you have the final say. You get to do whatever you want. Put whoever you want with whoever you want.
I even went back, and I know that this has been discussed, but I even went back, and I was trying to think, like, was it unclear in the beginning that both houses were going to evict someone permanently? No, it wasn't. I mean, it couldn't have been. Like, she very much understood there were 2 eliminations. There was no duel to come back. Because I was thinking, okay, maybe she thinks in the beginning that, like, if she puts all of her favorite people in one house, that they're just all going to, like, win immunity or something. But no, the way it was explained was very clear.
I mean, I don't think this was Nikki's intention. I don't think Nikki has a great grasp on where everyone stands in the game. But when I saw this house, I said, well, if Black Coffee don't win, it's a wrap. Because Liv and Louise are like, we want Lamont the fuck out of this game. So I was like, if a BBH 16ers to win and Lamont ends themselves on the block, and Trey already was starting to turn on Lamont. I was like, this is a bad house for Lamont. Obviously, Nikki doesn't know that. I don't think that was her intention. But I was like, babes, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I just thought this was just a strange choice of people to put in this house. Like, if you have a relationship with Lamont, you at least know that Christian and Michael are easy noms for most people.
Yeah.
Split them up. Put them in one in each house. Like, at least
that was my big thing, is why not split Christian and Michael up?
And you have no relationship with Sarah. Like,
why not split Liv and Caro up? Like,
it just was strange choice. I love Nikki, but I just thought these were some strange choices for House A. I just really thought, like, if you're trying to protect people like Megs and protect people like Lamont, I would have stuck Christian and Michael. And I get she wants Christian and Michael to be in the jury phase, so hopefully she has some longevity once jury hits. I get that. But you can't have it both ways. You can't also protect Megs and Lamont and Louise, but also get to keep the house targets of Christian. Like, you can't have it all. You got to pick something.
And this is it. This is what Nikki was really thinking about when she did this, because she did want to be true to that deal she made with Megs. And so I think her first thought was like, am I setting this up okay for Megs? And then the rest was an afterthought. Oh, Stokes is here. He's gonna. What do you have to say?
I'm so tired of this narrative that when somebody doesn't play the game the way you want them to play, that they're playing bad. God forbid Nikki insulates Sarah, Megs, and Erica, who she's been playing the game with, who she just was on the side to save Louis, to save Liv. Like, God forbid she works with those people who she has good relationships with. This is ridiculous. They're so pissed over nothing. When Lamont, yes, Lamont has made an effort to prioritize Nikki in the game, but they don't have. He never brought her into anything. He never made an effort to get an alliance with her. He never made her feel like it was, like she was a priority to him in the game sense. Yes, personally, they wanted to put it behind them, whatever. But like this whole like House A being all in a fucking tizzy about Nikki sitting like, and the way she did split the houses is insane to me. Like, she did what was good for her allies. Get the fuck over it. Honestly, if you want to come for her, fine, that's fine. But don't be like the lies and the deceit and just all this other stuff. It's like, come on, like you guys literally have all been working together the last 2 rounds and not working with Nikki. Why the fuck does she owe you anything?
And Black Coffee was kind of like not in a great place in the first place, and they were already looking for an excuse to do something like this. So here's your excuse.
my favorite
Trey has been throwing that alliance under the bus for the last 3 rounds. Does not give a damn about saving Lamont's ass. Wants him out of the fucking game. Like, she gave you everything you needed to get what you wanted on a silver platter, and you're gonna find a way to be mad about it because that's what orgers do, I guess. But like, but it's ridiculous. It is insane.
Yeah.
My only part in all of this.
I really hate it because I feel like.
Go.
Sorry.
No.
No, Nikki was really hitting her stride in the last couple days with relationship building, with finding a spot in the game, finding her positioning, and I feel like this is really, unfortunately, potentially going to unravel a lot of the great work that she's done in the last couple of days and just kind of the way the game has shaped around her. And so I'm worried about her for live night because Jabbar. The problem is Jabbar sucks at the good thing is Jabbar sucks at competitions and isn't gonna win probably. So I'm not, I don't think anyone else is really targeting her, but he's running around spreading this whole anti-Nikki narrative, and it's like, get over it, Jabbar. I love you so much, but get the fuck over it, girl. Sorry. Anyway.
No, and it's like you have to, you got to take it with a. You got to put your. I get why Jabbar's upset. I've put my feet in his shoes. I get it. I see why he's upset, but also I don't think he is putting his feet in her shoes and understanding that she has other promises. She's got to play her own game as well, and she did what she thought was best. Obviously, do I think had she just switched, let's say Trey and Christian, that this would be a far better outcome for how people view Nikki? Absolutely, but ultimately. That's it. I think the houses for the most part are decently good. I think just one small switch would exponentially have helped the perception of how she split the houses. But again, she doesn't know everything. She can't undo it.
Jabbar was never in trouble, in danger of going.
No,
that's why he needs to get over it because he's so well insulated in this group.
Yeah,
this should have been a great group for him. He should have been like, oh. This is great for me. I am in no danger at all.
He said it immediately. He said it immediately. He's like, well, guess I made the jury, but then he still is so angry.
My favorite part in all of this is Stokes saying in the prod chat that he is no longer going to get mad at the bad gameplay, and it's just.
No, I'm not mad.
I'm girl.
Annoyed. No, it's just I'm not it's just silly to me. That's the thing is I'm not. I mean. I guess maybe I got on here, got riled up, but what I'll say is that it's just silly to me at the end of the day. It seems like a weird thing to be mad at, especially for someone like Jabbar who changes his target every 14 minutes. So I'm not I don't know how long this is going to stick with him. He wants Sarah out. He wants Megan out. He wants Megs out. Jabbar wants the whole goddamn house out. So it's I don't know. I'm not going to let it rile.
And that's how you win. You win by taking everyone out.
Yeah. Well, let's get to House A, who's all in a fucking tizzy over this house. I get it, but also like that's life. Like that's life. I'm sorry. Sometimes the game doesn't go the way you want, and you got to adapt. So this will be a fun resume point for certain people from this house if they're to make it to the end that they had to deal with House A. Liv wins the HOH, and she's pretty set in what she wants. She wants Lamont to go home. She's angry by the fact when she was on the block next to Rizzo that Lamont, and again, I wasn't on that call, so Liv took the call as him promising he would save her. I think Lamont did the classic Lamont thing of he talked semantically and implied that he would save Liv, but did not overtly on paper promise it. But Liv walked away thinking, oh, he's going to save me. So when he doesn't save her and actually campaigns for her to go, that really hurt her feelings. So she wants Lamont to go. She's putting up Jabbar solely as a pawn, even though realistically in her trust rankings, Jabbar is the next likely person to go up anyway. But Jabbar is a great pawn to be up next to Lamont, knowing who the voters are in Louise, Caro, and Trey. But Liv's trying her best. She's trying to make sure everyone walks away liking her, because realistically, this house is really bad for Liv in the sense of these are all her people, minus Lamont. Like she's just started to rebuild with Jabbar, and they
would have yeeted her ass to the curb in a fucking heartbeat if they had the opportunity to do so here. So, let's not forget that.
If Louise wasn't an option, I think Louise would go over Liv. But yeah, if Louise wasn't an option, yeah, Liv's gone. I think Louise was in big trouble here. Trey and Jabbar when the round started, Jabbar was like, Louise needs to go. Now he's in his prod chat being like, Louise is untouchable for me. I will never touch her, so I don't fucking know anymore. But at the beginning of the round,
like I said, Jabbar's opinions change like a fart in the breeze. Honestly, and I've been enjoying watching him a lot. But it's very interesting that his opinions on people change so frequently and so rapidly, which I don't feel like is a characteristic that I've seen him play before, and so it's very intriguing.
The good thing is that he keeps that to his prod chat and he doesn't let people know that. So
yeah, he lets that.
Good on him for not letting that spread, because that
y'all gotta get on one of these calls with Jabbar, because he has loose lips, baby, about he wants this person out, he wants this person out. Well, he got the loosest lips on the cast, I think.
He does have some loose lips, but he's consistent in who his loose lips are going to.
Yeah.
He's not doing it to everybody, which is great.
Yeah, right. You're right. He's telling Trey, who's then telling everyone. You're right.
Correct. So he's being consistent with who he's telling. He's being consistent.
Well, and I've been on a call with him and Caro where he's had some loose lips too. So they speak, but also Caro's the one to go do that too, because she is also doing the exact same thing.
And I feel like he purposely tells Caro shit to make sure to see if she's leaking it. He's come back to his chat many times being like, heard this got around. I only told you that. So very interesting, Miss Caro. So
I will be using this against you later.
Oh, and he knows Trey's leaking shit too. He knows. He fucking knows. So, I mean, as much as Jabbar is a little bit of a loose lips in that regard, he knows that they're leaking shit. So let's see if he actually, I don't know, stops. I don't know. Caro and Trey are leaking, so
he won't
stop telling them stuff. I don't know. That's the thought, but
he won't.
Probably not. But Jabbar and Lamont on the block with the voters of Louise, Caro, and Trey for sure. Trey and Louise, from Liv's perspective, Trey and Louise would for sure be eating Lamont. Obviously, Louise is, saying she'd prefer Jabbar to go, but again, Jabbar and Lamont are her top two options to leave from this house. So realistically, who is to actually know what Louise wants? Because speaking of flip-floppers, Louise Thurkel, everyone. Who fucking knows? And then you got Caro, who is not giving a straight answer. Liv is like, Caro, what would you do in this nom set? Would you evict Lamont like I'm asking you to? And Caro's like, I don't know. This is really difficult. I don't want to promise anything. She's emotionally tied to Lamont, but she's strategically tied with Jabbar. She doesn't really want to lose Lamont, but she's afraid of what the other voters would do. So maybe she has no say in it at all. But this does not make Liv feel very good. She wants Lamont to go. And then she runs and tells Jabbar, hey, Caro didn't immediately promise me that she would save you. So just heads up.
Okay, I don't hate that by Liv, though.
No.
If I'm Liv and I'm hearing this from Caro for now, like the second, third, fourth time, like this is a huge red flag, and I'm cutting off ties. I don't understand the blind loyalty to this woman who, at any given moment, has shown, you are nothing for me. I'm yeeting your ass to the wolves. I'm evicting you. Like she evicted her.
Yeah,
she evicted her, and Liv's ass just gave her a second chance without questioning her or anything. So if I'm sitting on this call and I'm Liv talking with Carol, and she's like, sorry, I don't know if I can actually do that. That's all I needed to know. I'm getting off that call as soon as I can. And then I'm going and I'm telling Jabbar, and I'm like, yo, me and you, let's solidify this. Carol's ass got to go.
Yeah, I don't hate the move by Liv, but I do kind of hate the move by Liv. I think she should have waited to deliver that news. Because here's the thing: if you're telling Jabbar like we have the votes to keep you, you're going up, but we have the votes to keep you. You have not locked in your noms yet, and you're gonna be like, I'm putting you up, and now I'm not sure we have the votes to keep you, and that's not a great approach. Like I would maybe wait and give that piece of information to Jabbar and be like, Jabbar's already nominated, then come to him and be like, hey, just so you know, I talked to Caro and you may want to work on her because now she's not sure. Because I feel like if you come to Jabbar before the noms, you almost have to be open to not nominating him at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy she told Jabbar. I mean, it's unfortunate that, she was already locked into nominating Jabbar. Because, had Louise told her the truth, had Louise been more honest with Liv about that she might actually evict Jabbar here, Liv might have rethought her nominations and done Caro and Lamont instead, which is ultimately what we end up getting anyway. But obviously I think it works out better this way because if Jabbar was to still win the veto, who knows what he does? Does he save Lamont with the veto and just say, fuck it, we're going to stir shit up? So I think it works out. It's results oriented. It works out in the end for her. Obviously, in the moment, should she maybe have rethought the Jabbar nomination? Because Jabbar could have gone out here against Lamont. It's entirely possible. With Caro and Louise as on the fence as they are, Trey is locked in on getting rid of Lamont against nearly everyone but Louise. But Liv does tell Jabbar, hey, Caro is not locked in on saving you. Just heads up. But we do see an alliance form, God help us. Bathroom A, which is basically just Bathroom D minus Megan, because Megan's not in this house. So it's Caro, Trey, and Jabbar. An alliance created to save Jabbar on the block when Caro is not so sure she will do that. So very interesting alliance forming there. But ultimately, it doesn't matter.
Queen of group chats, honestly.
Truly.
I'm obsessed with her.
Has there been an alliance that has been like created out of like good that we've all just like, you know what, that's good?
I didn't hate Bathroom D when it formed. I liked
Bathroom
D when it formed.
I like
And
Triple Threat
I didn't
Femme.
hate Top 14 HOH either in the moment. And then I felt like there was things that, like the whole like revenge for Rizzo thing, I think that there was a cause, like there was a reason they were doing it. But then they all immediately like sold it as like, it was just to win the HOH, and they never used it for anything else.
And they all got pissed at Megs because Megs didn't do what they wanted. So like then that burned to hell. And then Bathroom D was a mess because Caro should have just saved Rizzo like the group wanted. And then
another example of people being upset when someone doesn't do what they want them to do. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Get over it!
Yeah. There's not many alliances left in the game that I'm like, that's a fun alliance. I like them. They're actually working all together. Like maybe the Triple Threat Femmes, but like even then it's like,
Yeah, they don't trust each other, I don't think.
No, like they all run to their prod chats, mainly Erica and Megs, just like, I like Erica, but like I don't know if I can trust her. And Megs is my number one. Actually, Megs is not my number one anymore. Wait, I lied. She's my number one.
But you know what? You should be taking these top 6 rounds and being like, maybe I should trust them a little bit more.
Right.
Because Sarah only had so many choices and I was still safe.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking too. Like even Megs, with everybody telling her to yeet their asses up onto the block, said, "No, I'm not gonna do that. Thanks for the input." And then now this round with Sarah, like they should trust each other. I feel like that should be the alliance that we're actually looking at, being like they have trust in each other, and they're just too.
Do you think
they're all too nervous to commit?
Cast is going to be thinking like that?
They should.
No. I mean, they should.
They should, though. Yeah.
Like they should. They have the brain cells to do it.
I kind of hope that once the dust settles from the evictions tonight, I kind of hope that Megs, Erica, and Sarah can regroup and figure out how they want to approach this. I know Megs has talked about wanting to pull some of the other women into working together. I think it's a really fun idea, especially considering the women are going to hold a huge majority in the jury.
I don't we have not had this since BBH fucking 12. Where, assuming nothing changes today.
Oh, but not even at this level in 12. 8.
7. We have 2 non-binaries.
6.
7. What? 6.
Oh, I thought we were just going down in numbers.
No. Assuming we lose Christian and Lamont, we'll have 7 women, 2 men, and 2 non-binaries in the jury phase. And I am just assuming that Louise and Trey are non-binary, considering it's he, they, she, they, but I could be wrong on that. But I'm just going with that. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's exciting. I love that. We have not had that big of a female or even she presenting jury phase probably ever, but like 12 is the last time we've had that. Like 12 was what, 7 women, 4 men? So I just love that.
Very fun. Unfortunately, I fear that the Femme Fatales, or whatever that alliance name is, not going to have a lot of time. Yeah, they're not going to have a lot of time to regroup here, because they will be one of them will be leaving a live night. That's my prediction.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
Well, you're right.
I just think that you're just being contrarian then.
No, I'm not being contrarian. I think Sarah's in trouble, but I think Niki's in more trouble.
But the people who want to target Nikki aren't going to win.
Amen.
Sarah or Megs will be leaving at Life Night. That's just what's going to happen. Unless Sarah's luck continues and Megs fucking HOH or Erica wins the HOH. That's the thing is, like, I see Megs or Sarah leaving at Live Night, unless obviously it depends on the HOH winner. Everything.
When is Live Night?
What? It's the trivia.
No, when is it?
Sunday.
Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. You should be there.
Period.
I mean, I also think that there is a good chance though that Nikki wins HOH.
It's possible. I mean, Nikki also could be in trouble. It just depends on who wins, but I think there are more Sarah and Megs haters than there are Nikki haters.
Who do we think have been looking at the wiki the most?
Megan. Literally Megan, I think. No, Liv literally told Luis on call last night that she hasn't done it.
Yeah, well,
she was like, I know I said I would help you.
Liv can't win anyway, but...
Right. She was like, I know I said I'd help you, but I haven't yet. Sorry.
Well, so
no, Louis.
If Megan wins, what does Megan do?
I think she probably would put up. My guess would be she puts up.
She doesn't need to win. That's the issue.
Right. Yeah.
She puts up Liv and Louise for sure. 100%.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I think she throws up Michael.
No, she wouldn't.
No.
She because she has no relationship with Louise at all.
Yeah, Louise for sure. I don't know the second one though.
She's been against Liv for the last, at least in the game sense, for the last couple of rounds. I think that's the thing that makes sense the most for Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's table this, because I actually want to come back to this thought, because I think Megan actually has a high likelihood of winning this HOH, and we'll get to why. Well, let's finish up. Let's give Lamont his swan song, and then we'll come back to live night predictions.
What a swan song!
I'm so sad for him, but you know what? If it ain't the consequences of his own actions,
It is. I
so.
mean, Jabbar wins the veto in stark fashion. He beats everyone. Just insane. Again, we had Sarah absolutely crushing the HOH. Now we have Jabbar absolutely crushing the veto. Jabbar has contemplated using it on Lamont. I think he'd be a psychopath to do that.
Actual psychopath.
Well,
He just knows what gets the girls talking.
So
he just knows what gets people talking.
I gotta say it in case it happens. I put it at like 0.5% he does it, but I think it's up in the air. I think he has a lot more faith that Louise would save him over Caro, and I don't know about that. So I think if Jabbar doesn't use the veto and saves Lamont, I think he goes home. So he needs.
I think out of principle, if you win the veto and you don't use it on yourself, everyone should evict you.
Vote him out.
Everyone should evict you.
Have that much sway, like
my bitch.
It happened in BBH3 on my HOH, and it
Get out.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out if you're that crazy.
Did y'all kick him out or her?
John Oliver, yes, but that was not my intention. That was the Quinn backdoor round.
Yeah, they foiled Max trying to stab his own brother in the back. It's a great piece of BBH history. Honestly, you should watch the BBH retrospective. Picture this if you want to know more.
Where Stokes just loves to drag me.
You deserved it, and you deserved every minute of it.
I don't picture this, but I don't think I've watched an episode.
Well, you should. Season 1, I've only watched one. And
podcasts are hard for me, so like,
I get it.
Yeah, but like, I did buy it to support.
Here for 4 hours, Kadri.
No, I get it. But Jabbar wins the veto, likely using it on himself. Liv has to figure out a renom, and if you look at Liv's trust rankings of the entire cast, Louise is at number 1, Caro's at number 2, and Trey's at number 3. So she's having to nominate a top 3 ally for her, which again is strange that Caro is up that high, period, after Caro literally evicted you not 2 rounds ago.
And ghosted her.
Yeah, like Caro didn't call you, just kind of like told you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying not to forgive Caro, because again, I always preach Big Brother.
You should be saying it. Don't forgive her.
It's Big Brother. It's a it's a duality.
Don't forget.
Just because she's evicting you does not mean she hates you and you're like the piece of shit trash in the house. It just means she preferred Rizzo. She still likes you, and Caro still likes Liv. So I'm happy she's not just completely writing out Caro. But number 2, damn, okay, that's a strange idea.
That's a choice.
Wouldn't put her that high, but that's just me personally. But basically, Liv wants to ensure that Lamont goes out here. She feels confident that Trey and Louise will boot Lamont over Caro, and she just doesn't have faith in Jabbar's vote, considering that she did tell Jabbar that Caro wasn't locked in on saving him. So with Jabbar for sure voter, she wants to ensure that Lamont goes out here and has faith that Trey and Louise will be 2 votes to send him out, which are good reads. She also doesn't want to put Trey up because he hasn't made the jury yet. That's been a strange storyline in both houses right now, is that the pre-jurors from their OG seasons need to make it this time, and we don't want to send them out, which, like, cool, great, awesome, but like that's not going to be something I'm voting based off of. But these people
didn't do that for Victoria, so
yeah, like they didn't care when it came to Victoria, but they care all of a sudden now. But whatever. And ultimately, Trey and Louise saved Lived against Rizzo. Caro didn't. So like, bye love. So Caro's going up.
Is Caro the rebound?
Yeah.
Not officially, but yes.
Oh, thank God. I wish they would flip something around to make it to where, and I can't believe I'm saying this on TV on this thing, but send Caro out here instead of Lamont.
And it's not going to happen.
And they won't.
I know.
Liv consulted Louise about the renom to make sure she could send out Lamont, and Louise was like, no, my top 2 choices to leave here were Jabbar and Lamont, so don't worry, I'm evicting Lamont. She then called Trey, and Trey's like, don't worry, I'm saving Caro. He's already told Caro I've got your back. And then Trey and Jabbar hopped on call last night where Trey is like, I'm evicting Lamont. So Jabbar is locked 2 in a way, the call went weird where Jabbar was like, Trey, what do you want? And Trey's like, well, what do you want, Jabbar? And Jabbar's like, no, what do you want? So Jabbar never actually expressed a side or a preference on here. Today, he's kind of alluded to the fact that he didn't like how Caro campaigned to him. It made him feel like she didn't trust him to save her automatically. So I feel like Jabbar inherently wants to evict Caro here, but Jabbar knows that he doesn't have the votes anyway. So it will for sure at least be 2-1, maybe 3-0. Caro's a little angry, and Caro's angry and because she has like little time to campaign today because she's out hiking and shit. I mean, Trey and Louise have already told her that they've got her back and she's fine. But like, she's over here. She's like, I'm slightly annoyed at Liv. Babes, you evicted her.
Literally.
Why are you? I get that Liv said you were safe with her in the house. It's a house of 6. Someone's got to go up.
I personally think, and I'm still living in this fantasy world until 4 p.m. I know that they have been afraid that he is going to blow up Black Coffee, and I want Lamont to do it. And I want him to do it, and I want them to throw Trey's ass up there because I think, like, it's nothing against Trey, but Trey is playing all of these people, and it is the strategically better move to take Trey out this round, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to do that.
And they should.
But they won't.
And Lamont should blow it up because they're going to turn on him the first chance that they have. Not them crumbling as an alliance, the first opportunity they have to stick their neck out for each other.
Yes.
Which is what we said would happen when this alliance was created on day 3. So, like, I feel bad for Lamont, but, like, Trey broke it down in his prod chat that, like, you know, and basically said, I have to follow what feels right in the game. And I have to follow what feels good in the game. And Lamont has not made me feel good. And that is such a valid thing that I think we would all be sitting here praising Trey for doing had they not built this alliance based around this whole thing. And then for them to just now turn on it immediately.
I think it's very interesting too, because if you go back to 19, there was a lot of drama in Kevin doing the exact same thing to Trey when Kevin had the chance to stick his neck out for Trey. And Trey was on this whole, like, this is our alliance. How dare you turn on it and not stick at it? Like, you are the vote. And Trey is now finding himself in the same position where he is going to be the nail in the coffin for Lamont. But, you know, it's kind of wild to me that this exact same thing happened to Trey.
And that's why I love these games, because they give us so many great full circle moments.
Full circle moments. And I mean, again, and that's what's funny is Alex Trace he got to it before I did. Dre's the one who wanted this alliance. Dre's the one who wanted the Black Coffee Alliance and was the one who was most vocal about the mission of having the first Black male winner of BBH. Love the mission. Love it. I've said it before, like 2 weeks ago. Like, I love the mission. What I hate is if everyone's not devoted to the mission, then it just adds this extra level of complexity for when it ultimately fails. That's that extra level of hurt. And that's why you see Jabbar and Trey last night when Trey's like, I'm evicting Lamont, and Louise is locked in too. So Lamont's leaving, and they're discussing, like, how do we handle Lamont? Do we tell him? Or do we just lie to him all day so he doesn't blow it up? Because now they live in this world where if you evict Lamont, he's going to feel a certain type of way because y'all made a pact as Black men to stick together. And now you're going to go back on each other when Trey's making the right game move for him. Lamont evicted Trey last round to stir up drama. Lamont absolutely lied to Trey about his direction for train of thought so Trey wouldn't win. Lamont and Trey have never recovered from Trey saving Liv over Rizzo 2 rounds ago. Trey's absolutely making the right game move here. He has a great relationship with Caro. I absolutely think Trey's making the right decision. I'm happy he's playing the game in front of him. But when you make a pact like this that becomes emotional and more than the game, it creates an environment that's really shitty to be a part of. Because, like, Lamont's going to feel a type of way about it, and I don't fucking blame him.
And this I agree with so much. Lamont was never trying to send Trey out of the game.
No, never was. But I get why Trey's hurt by it. I get that Trey felt.
I disagree with that whole sentiment thing of, but Lamont wasn't trying to send Trey out the game. Technically, yes. Like, if he had the votes, like, I know he was trying to be messy, but, like, you don't be messy like that.
Oh, because Trey
Like-
could have easily, or Lamont could have easily tied it had the four people who actually wanted to save the
Exactly.
precedent.
So like Lamont saying Lamont wasn't trying to send Trey out the game, I think is a very narrow-minded excuse, whatever. It's dumb. But I think after hosting Lamont in his POV, and I think we'll get to this. I haven't looked at the agenda. I think this is why Lamont is so hurt, so upset, why he physically does this with the camera and is like, no, like I don't want to be seen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like they made it more than a game at this point. Mm-hmm. And Jabbar recognizes this because he went through the exact same thing in Conquest together. Mm-hmm. It's like Jabbar doesn't want to see it happen, and it's happening right in front of him again, second game in a row.
Well, yeah. I mean, and to unfortunately to have to be the one to say this, but at least it's happening pre-jury.
And sadly, that's the reality. And like I'm happy in that regard that they're sending him out pre-jury, so like they don't have like this doesn't affect the jury and it doesn't taint it. Not that I would say it would taint it, but like it would be a storyline there. And like, I mean, rightfully it should have been like if Lamont was a juror and felt scorned and he felt the need to bring it up, he's rightfully allowed to. Yeah. I'm happy it's not bleeding into that because it sucks. Like we said, we knew this was coming. We saw. I mean, Jabbar has side-eyed Trey because he knows Trey's leaking his shit. Lamont has been going around saying the players in the middle need to go, and Trey's like, "Well, bitch, that's me." Like
they have all pointed fingers at each other.
Like,
and I mean, we said this literally from the inception. Like I ran into the chat and I was like, "Oh, this is hot," and then I started to read the chat and I was like, "Ooh, this is not going to last like very long." And we're truly seeing it crumble right before our very eyes, and like it's not a surprise. Like if you do something like this, you create this mission, and not everyone is for the mission. Like it's going to end.
It's not going to end well, and you can see it. I mean, that's why they planned on lying to Lamont all day so he didn't blow up Black Coffee. That was the whole point, was to kind of blindside him in the moment. Which honestly, I'm like, babes, it's going to blow it up even more. Like Lamont in spite to be like.
That only works if the person's immediately yeeted from the
right.
Chat.
Right. He's gonna have it.
Yeah, like he's gonna have his moment to think about what he wants to say and then say it.
Have your moment.
Have your moment. Only the gays will make that one.
I'm so sad that we're gonna lose the Black Coffee chat because it was my favorite chat of the season. Because they had the funniest calls to get in. They just would get in and kiki and like have and read everyone down, and it was just so fun.
It felt like brunch. It felt like a brunch where everyone has had mimosas and you're just no filter. It felt good for the soul. I am sad to see it go, but I'm also happy to see it go.
I mean, at the end of the day,
I like being right.
At the end of the day, it's the consequences. It's the consequences of his own actions. Like no matter what Lamont intended by it, like if he intended just to be messy, if he intended to actually hurt Trey's game, like whatever his intention was, the impact on Trey is that Trey feels like he can't trust Lamont. You lied to me in train of thought. You evicted me. You're not over the fact that I saved Liv, and Liv is now the HOH who's trying to send you out. You're targeting the middle, but I'm in the middle. Ultimately, Trey feels like he can't trust Lamont. Regardless of intentionality and all that stuff, Lamont has done things that have made Trey not feel strong. Had Trey called Jabbar and been like, hey, I'm willing to eat Caro for the mission because I made this alliance and I made the mission, and I was the one biggest gung-ho about this, but now I'm not. So ultimately, Lamont's actions have caused this. I love Lamont, but at the end of the day here, Trey is not evicting Lamont for no reason. Fortunately.
And honestly, Lamont made it way further than he should have after he tried to fuck around in round one.
Oh, literally.
So,
he was in the biggest spotlight in round two and still slithered his way. And it's a testament to how good of a game player he is.
I mean, he did this in 17. He never should have made the jury in 17.
Like
I wouldn't say good game player.
I mean,
I think Lamont is a good game player.
He slithered his way here. Like, he had multiple HOHs who absolutely should have not. Meg should have thrown his ass up both times she was HOH in the pre-jury and didn't.
Preston
should put his ass up and didn't. Like, it's a testament to the ability of Lamont to talk himself out of situations where he absolutely should have been yeeted here already.
My take on Lamont is I think Lamont also, like Stokes said, I think Lamont is a good game player. He just plays a risky game.
We do.
And his game is not for everyone. When his risk pays off, he's seen as a great game player. It's very results oriented with Lamont.
Absolutely.
When his risks don't pay off, everyone's like flop. But like he is a good game player because I think the stuff that he pulls off, you know, like the stuff that he like pulls off in round one of just being like unnecessarily messy, but also like very entertaining and making it far. Like, in order to be able to do shit like that and still make it far, you have to possess the qualities of a great game player.
Yeah.
And I think that he does. I have to say, like, I think one person in the pre-jury is going to be eating really nicely tonight with Christian and Lamont both.
Oh, Preston will be very happy to see those two joining him. He will be. Preston will be very happy. Very happy, and that's.
But I do feel for Lamont because I think Lamont has really given a lot of story to the season. Mm-hmm. I think he's been like, I think Dan has said it. Lamont has been such a wonderful foil for the season.
Absolutely.
And the beautiful thing about that is new foils are going to emerge as they always do. and I don't know who it is.
The end of Lamont's story within this game.
No.
Like, he has done a great job of planting roots, and like much like Victoria and how her name continues to come up, Lamont's will be that next name that is just in every conversation and in his having this domino effect until late jury phase. Honestly, like
I will be sat for his goodbye message. I will be sat. Again, it's not a guarantee. I would put it at 99% he's going home, but like. Lamont will not give up. Lamont will be calling Louise and fighting like hell to get her vote because I truly think Jabbar wants to get rid of Caro. So if he can get Louise or if he can, you know, appeal to that ethos of Trey and get Trey to rethink his decision, it's possible. I'm not down. Christian, I'm down and out on. It's over. It's done. Lamont, there's a small chance he can do it. And if anyone can do it, it's Lamont with the house that he's been given. So there's a chance.
Baby, if
I mean Louise is a voter. It's fucking Louise. She fucking
thank you.
On for hours.
Lamont both freaking went right now, and it was like, hey, give me 10 minutes, no more. Like, and 10 minutes might even be pushing it, but give me time to say this pitch. And if they do that to Louise, baby.
The only thing you have to do is hold Louise on call right before the vote is due, and you'll get her vote.
Louise edged us on for 8 fucking hours a week ago, so she'll do it again today. I have no fucking doubt about it. So, like,
I have not been very high up on Lamont. This isn't news, but I've probably been even lower about Caro. So, like, seeing Caro go here would be.
Again, would be consequent. Whoever goes in this house,
of your own
actions of your own actions. You've done
I just personally think, and I think whatever happens, if Lamont still goes, Liv is very lucky, because if I am Liv, and I have thought about this a lot, Louise and Trey both have been known for being flip-floppy last minute and just doing whatever they want. And you are allowing both of them to be voters in this vote. And that is playing with fire.
Objectively, but the problem is that like she didn't have a very all of her options are shitty. She puts up Louise absolutely goes out. Mm-hmm. If she puts up Trey, Louise just evicted Trey. So like there's a possibility Louise then just evicts Trey instead. Sure, like she would prefer Lamont to go over Trey, but like who's to say she doesn't flip on that? And if she puts up Caro, we're in this situation where like there's still a chance as well. I think all situations were
but if you put up Trey, though, you have a little bit more stability in your voters. Like Caro and Jabbar are not evicting Trey.
You say that, but I don't trust Jabbar for fucking anything.
Jabbar would evict Trey.
Well, but on paper, are you trusting the voter of Jabbar over a voter like Louise or Trey? Probably
neither.
I don't trust any of these fucking voters, to be
absolutely
frank
not.
with you.
If Trey's on the block, and Jabbar is voting, Jabbar is voting out Trey.
I
As he
don't.
should. As he should.
Yeah, I don't trust any of these fucking voters. Like the only person in this house that I would trust to vote is Liv, and she's not fucking voting. So, and maybe Lamont.
Can we talk about Liv for a second?
Please.
My queen.
I'm obsessed with the fact that if Lamont and Christian leave, that her position in the game just absolutely skyrockets. Like, I feel like two people who are potentially coming after her or have shown her that they can't trust, that she can't trust them leaving the game is just so good for her position in the game. And I'm like, we keep saying her runway seems to be short, but we keep saying that it just feels like her runway gets shorter and shorter every round. But she's fighting and she's going to make it, I think.
Maybe. Kris Jenner works hard. Liv Pearson works harder.
I have a couple things to say. So first of all, I think if Liv makes the end, no one can beat her story. And now that we are entering the jury, I think we can talk about these things. She will never have her story beaten by anyone else. Like, unfortunately, the thing is that her story, we're still in the pre-jury, and so it's hard sometimes to sell people on the story of what happened in pre-jury. But I think that she is going to have to keep fighting. Like, if she gets there, it's not going to be an easy road if she gets to the end here.
But it's been so visible too. So like her pre-jury story has been so up and down and so visible that I feel like people will look at it and be like, yeah, no, you from day one had to fight and had to like be in that position.
But Liv is such a logical player, and I think that she needs to appeal more to that logic, because I know that they have played against each other in this game, but I need for Liv and Megs to find some common ground here. I need for it to happen so badly, because I think if the two of them can figure out their positioning and the need that they have for each other, like, if anyone is going to come together and find that common ground, I feel like those two are the types of logical players that can do it.
It's possible. It's possible.
I want to show this comment and say this to
Trias.
Yes. Hey, boo boo. Live in 16 and Live in 20, two very different people.
Yeah,
this is two very different stories. Liv knew she had 16 wrapped up, like gifted to her on a silver platter, and she knows she genuinely fucked it up and gave away her win.
Yep.
This is not a dig at Elise, because Elise did great as well. But Liv knows that she genuinely screwed up. She is not going to make that mistake again.
No.
She is going to have a speech prepared, rehearsed, down to the tens. Like, she's going to slay the house down, boost honey cuts, like whatever they say. Like,
goodbye. Get him off the fucking stream, please.
She is not going to make that same mistake twice. Like, Liv in a finale is going to be a cakewalk. It is going to be Jordan 96, 97 going back to back. Like, it is going to be Beyonce Renaissance World Tour. It is going to be Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Like, it'll be a
and I'll be sad.
You said it's going to be the Eras Tour, and now that's something I don't want to watch. But
same. I did it because I'm trying to allude to all of our.
Kadri's in appealing to his white gay era. Like, that's where Kadri's at in his life right now.
I think the thing about Liv right now for me is that at the finale where she struggled is she's told her story in terms of everything that happened in her head, and people aren't really interested to like hearing everything that's inside of your head. This game, she's been playing in everyone's faces, whether she's wanted to or not. And so the thing she's going to be able to say is like, let me take you on this journey that you can feel because you lived it with me.
And in her preseason thing, I'm going to always bring this up. Anytime Liv comes up, I said, Liv, I do love Kadri standing on this though. Thanks, Kadri. Period. Liv, I said, Liv doesn't need to do a lot of things differently to get to the end game. The biggest thing she needed to do differently was to not play through people and play for herself and make these moves herself. And she has been forced to do that. So if she makes it to the end, I'm sorry, but whoever is across from her, you stand zero chance. I'm sorry.
That's the reason why
I am scared of Liv in a final three situation. I'm not scared of anybody in this damn community. But if Liv is in a final three situation on this season, I'm shivering in my boots.
But that's why they're not going to let her get there. They're gonna You can't let her get there.
They're not going to let her get there. But guess what? Like I said, Kris Jenner works hard.
No, she works hard. I'm rooting for her.
Liv, they may not want Liv there. Liv is going to be there because she did it her damn self. Period.
I mean, I try not to root for people super hard in their seasons because then I get emotionally connected and I get upset when they get evicted. I try not to root hard for people.
And that went out the window when we decided to cast Liv. Like that was her and Michael were my go-tos. Like right there, like I wanted both of them. We got them. I'm going to be hurt regardless of either of them go home. But like,
I'm rooting for Liv.
The MSBC, y'all. I'm gonna say this, and y'all are gonna be upset, but like, I don't give a damn. Liv, she is the moment. Period.
Yeah, she's killing it. I mean, the story is so fucking good for her. I mean, I'm also enthralled by Sarah's story as well. Like Sarah and Liv have had targets after targets after targets, and yet somehow, some way, they're still here with like most of their allies still standing.
And when it's Sarah, Liv, and Michael in the final three, then what?
Girl,
God help us all. I'll be the not contrarian because it's not bad at all. I think everybody left has an interesting story, and that was what I kept saying over and over and over in the preseason was like, if this person gets to the end, I'm so enthralled with the story of how it happened, and I'm so excited to see what that story looks like. So at this point left in the game, I don't think there's anyone left that I'm like, I'm not interested to see how you get there and win, which is exciting. It makes me very excited about going into the jury phase.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I mean, we have such a fun architecture of what remains. You still have Jabbar, Megan, and Meg still being perceived as together from Train of Thought, even though Jabbar and Megan talk shit about Megs, and then Megan and Megs were talking in this house shit about Jabbar. So, like, while they're deemed together, they're surely not. You've got, Sarah, Erica, and Megs who are together, but still also not, because Erica and Megs have this weird roller coaster of a relationship. Megs told us that she's still trying to find where she actually wants to be in this game. She's not sure it's with the triple threat femme. So, like, if someone like Liv is like, hey, babes, we're at the bottom. People want us gone. So do you want to run shit together instead? Like, Michael is ready to be picked up. You've got this BBH20 group that's not together but deemed together. Black Coffee is going away. You've got all these fractured alliances of people who are together but not together, who don't actually see eye to eye. You've got Megan who's rebuilding pieces with people left and right. It's just such a fun game to look at, and it's constantly changing. It's dynamic. Like, the rounds are constantly changing. I love it.
That's the fun part about Big Brother, is that it really is going to depend on who wins when and when they win. And that's what I always find super fascinating about Big Brother, especially in a season like this where I don't feel like it's going to be dominated by one person. I feel like we're going to have dynamic HOHs across the next couple of rounds that are going to really drastically shake things up.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and that's what's super fun. So it's looking forward to live. And again, so likely we'll lose Christian and Lamont tonight, but we'll keep you posted. Christian just had a call with Megan where Megan said that she right now is voting with her heart, but maybe she should be voting with her head. So she alluded to the fact that maybe she's thinking about it. I'm not so sure about that. So we'll have to see. And then Lamont, we'll see what he's able to do. He knows that Trey is likely not keeping him. Trey told him last night that he might not keep him. So Lamont's on, the course today to win over Louise and Jabbar. So we'll see. But moving into live nights, which is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, the HOH, they know what it is. We can't allude to it any fucking more to this game. So they know what it is. It is trivia based off of the lovely wiki that Max Teddy and Blake Ratcliffe put together. Max put it together. Blake updates it now that he's on Broad. Max also still updates it, but Blake does all the fancy, like, behind the scenes coding and fun shit. So they know it's trivia over seasons that are not included on this season. It's a knockout trivia challenge. So that brings me back to the point that we were discussing with Megan winning. Megan is someone who's not going to get thrown into the knockout because everyone likes Megan. She's not going to get put up to go play the challenges. Megan has no need to win this HOH, but she might be handed it because, much like Crystal was in 13, Crystal never did a never competed until the last possible moment she could. Megan easily could be that person, which is also a bad thing because people look at that going, no one picked you because they wanted you to stay in. So that's also a bad thing. But people like Megan, people who are well loved, Jabbar easily could coast through that HOH. While he's not good at challenges, at least our challenges per se, I don't see a lot of people picking him to go into the knockout trivia. So I'm very intrigued to see how else it plays out.
I don't know. I think Jabbar could get picked. I think there's a couple people that would pick Jabbar.
I think Louise would, but
especially if Jabbar gets put in early and then is like having to nominate someone that will then just put him back in.
Yeah,
like I could see that happening for sure too.
But yeah, like you've got, but like people versus people like Sarah isn't playing, so it doesn't matter. But like Meg, she's getting picked every fucking time. Meg's just gonna get thrown in every fucking question, so hopefully she knows her trivia. Erica is gonna get thrown in by most people. So
I think Nikki is an early.
Oh, Nikki's getting thrown in a ton. Like you've got those people who are gonna have to. But again, Cassidy.
Maybe if Nikki is not studying on her 3-day vacation,
Babe,
if she is not studying, what are you doing?
Babe, what are you doing? Because Nikki girl, you're gonna have no time once you get thrown back in this house because you're gonna have 2 houses to figure out what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
But again, we've seen it. Last season, Cassidy was thrown in every fucking time, and they still won the HOH. If you're prepared, it does not matter. So I'm so intrigued to see how Live Night plays out. I'm still intrigued by today's vote.
I would love to see Megs have a Cassidy moment.
It'd be iconic, and it would continue the storyline. Like if Sarah continues to have her allies win HOH, like I will cackle. I will cackle because this cast is so pressed by Sarah. It will make me giggle. So I'm rooting for it as well. So I'm so happy with how the season's going. I really don't say that frequently.
Neither do I.
Like I just am loving how dynamic this season is. I'm really enjoying it. I'm sad for the 2 people we lose tonight, regardless of who they are. I will be sad. It sucks that we have to lose people before jury.
I mean,
that's life.
Somebody who was the final pre-juror in a returning BBH season, my heart, and specifically in a returner season, in 10, like I feel for them personally. Like I get what this feels like, especially because I had a very similar story to Lamont in that like I was just super visible the whole time I was there, and so I feel for him and how hard he's fighting to get there, and I hate it for him, but it's got to happen to someone, unfortunately.
I think I would feel worse. Like I'd actually feel more bad if it wasn't due to their own consequences.
No, fair. No,
because it is.
Whoever goes because of their like whoever goes because they deserved it. Period. Like Michael, if Michael goes, it's because he has no relationships. People didn't feel compelled enough strategically to save him, and
that was not needed.
And then Kara would go home because she's been playing messy. Like.
And that was needed.
Yeah, like Carol and Michael likely stay tonight, but if the vote flipped against them, it's because of things that they did or did not do, and therefore we can't be completely
like it's not like if someone flips against them, it's not going to be because someone's trying to be messy. It's because someone's actually making a strategic decision.
So, but that's the game, and it's gonna suck, and it's gonna suck that they can't even be on finale night, and that sucks. But that's the game, people, and they signed up for it, and it's hard, and everyone's drained. I get it. Everyone's feeling how stressful this environment is for them. I get it. Like it's not. I've not played a returning season in this game, but I've played returning seasons.
So are we.
It's hard. Yeah, I feel for them too. Like I hate seeing people distressed. It's not fun. But I'm happy that they're giving it their all, like showing that they care enough that they are thinking this over as much as they are, just shows how devoted they are about making the right moves and making sure that this is the right move for their game to ensure they're in the end. Because I think none of them won. They've all made mistakes in their previous seasons, and they look back at those moments like, fuck, I should have done this, not that. So I'm happy they're all being like, this could be my moment that ruins my game, just like it happened in 16 or 15, or not 15, but 16 or 17 or whatever season they come from. So we'll see what happens. Megan is telling us in her prod chat she is actually considering what Christian said.
Mhm.
So
if she talks to Megs, and they could very well decide this together.
both votes are live. So who knows?
Mhm.
Who knows what will happen? But depending on what happens today, we might be back tomorrow morning. Maybe not. It just depends on how crazy today is. But we will be back at some point to talk about this vote and live night tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there. We will have so if you're not in the Facebook, join the Facebook, because just if you're not in the Facebook, I don't know how you got in the VL, but be in the Facebook, because we will stream the live night directly to Facebook, and then we'll have the commentary stream on YouTube. So you'll be able to watch live night on the Facebook live, and then during those like 10-minute intervals where they go and talk in the house, you'll have the commentary stream to tell you what the fuck's happening. So,
and this is your warning, not warning. This is your reminder. Go buy your damn alcohol, because tomorrow we get drunk.
Yes, we have. I think Tay always has a drinking game, and I think there's bingo happening tomorrow. Got plenty of fun things to happen during live night to keep you entertained for like the hour and a half, hour and 45 it goes for. And I mean, be here in the Discord tonight, because the girlies are going to be pressed when the houses come together and see what happened in the other house.
And we will be putting together a pregame for tonight.
How many times will people be pissed about Erica, Megs, and Sarah? Take a fucking shot. You will be in the hospital before midnight.
Stomach pumped.
So be there. It's going to be a fun 24 hours as we get locked and loaded. And the game always changes when jury hits, because people feel like it's time to play. It's unfortunate that that's the narrative, but people have been playing scared this season because they want to make jury so badly. And now once jury hits, the gloves are off. They don't care anymore. They're like, you know what? If this bites me in the ass, at least I'm on the jury. So gloves are coming off. People are going to start fighting for their lives. They're going to start taking shots. It's the best part of Big Brother when we hit jury, because people, the inhibition's just lower. They're like, you know what? Worst case, I'm on the jury. So it's going to get exciting. I'm super looking forward to tonight and tomorrow, because I'll have nothing to do but prepare for live night. So nothing else happening. They have their full attention to live night. So be there. We'll keep you updated on all the votes and everything happening, but we'll see you all at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And any last comments from my now slew of production members?
I have my bold prediction. While I would like for Michael to stay, if Christian is saved by Megan, this will be the move that Megan talks about in her final speech, because she will be there on finale night.
Homegirl's gotta win a challenge. That's my prediction. Like, I love Megan. She's in a great spot. Win a challenge, babes. Something.
She will.
All right. I'll believe it when I see it.
She doesn't want to yet.
Well, she's been trying. That's the issue.
But she hasn't wanted it. She's trying.
Lie. Her DR says otherwise.
She hasn't been hungry for the challenge yet.
Oh,
she hasn't conjured up the win yet.
You are ridiculous.
Yeah. My final comments are just one word. Actually, 3 words. Live, laugh, love. Period.
Live, laugh, love, indeed.
Yeah.
My prediction is, Nikki babes, I hope you're crocheting like a crucifix and praying to it, because I need you to. I want Nikki to stay, but I'm worried for her. I'm worried.
Why am I can't get crochet Jesus out of my head now.
I'm praying for Nikki's safety and Nikki pulling out the stops and doing what she did in 17 to progress herself just far enough to where the shit changes. But right now, she's got eyes locked in on her right now. So I need...
Girl, Nikki's going to give us a chaotic live night HOH again.
I
know it. I just feel it in my spirit.
I need to go get me some snacks for tomorrow.
I need... please, I need another 17 redo of her just cold-blooded HOH at live night. I need it. But... We'll keep you posted. stick with us because we got a long day. It's seeming like with Megan now. She's unsure of what to do now. So we've got at least one house up in the air again. Gotta fucking love it. So for us, for me, for Lee, for Max, for Kadri, for Stokes, who just got done with his walk, everyone, please go congratulate on everyone who's exercising because I sure as hell am not. Bye, everyone.
I did it.
Mine does.
I did it.